All right, I'd like to call the meeting to order. It is now 6:14. We have in front of us today several budgets to go through and 2 reserve fund transfers that we're going to go over. I'd like to entertain a motion to waive minutes of the meeting, of the previous meetings.
Second.
You need to make a motion.
I'll move to waive the reading of the minutes of the previous meetings.
Motion.
Second.
Okay, motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt to waive the minutes of the meeting. All those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff Noble, is an aye. Karen Schmidt.
Aye.
Kara.
Aye.
Susan and Mike.
Is Brittany on?
Yes, Brittany is on the air here.
Okay.
Brittany, just one kind of quick thing. We have Jeff Noble, Karen Schmidt, Kara Smith, Mike Jerome, myself, and Susan Carol Lombardi on the Zoom meeting.
And Sandy.
And well, of course, Sandy's here to join us, which is a good thing. All right. So first thing we'd like to kind of go through would be one of the reserve fund transfers.
I make a motion to transfer from reserve fund account number 132 to account 157 computer maintenance, an amount of $5,000.
Second.
A motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for a reserve fund transfer, account 132 to account 157 computer maintenance in the amount of $5,000. It seems, Sandy, that this is just an overrun because of all the excess work that we had to do relating to the pandemic.
Yes. In particular, setting up those who work from home.
Right.
With the VPN and emails and all of the complications that come with new laptops, and that kind of thing. You know, it's not just simply you set it up, it runs perfectly.
We know that.
You know, other things come into play, like internet connectivity, I mean, all kinds of stuff, so.
We just did that again here. That's why I ended up as late as I did. I was having trouble connecting to the internet here.
And then there was a secondary reason about the insurance carrier.
That happens
And then,
quite
yeah,
often, and I think, at least for myself, I feel like my computer, with the exception of wanting to restart every now and then, seems to work pretty good. I've been doing a lot of work from home this last month, so, yeah, that's why.
okay. And Jeff asked a question about the insurance carrier.
Recommended software for greater
That
security.
would be Maya, cybersecurity insurance. And in particular, what we're running into right now is people who normally send us stuff before this kind of, what did we call it? I don't know if we called it anything. You know, whoever it is for our software, emails that come from like some of our associations get blacklisted, and they need to, like, even our town lawyer, one of the lawyers was blacklisted off of, you know, the planner's email. So those need to be taken care of, and that's an expense at, you know, $140 an hour. So.
Okay, so when it comes down to blacklisting on those, basically what they're doing is they're setting them up so they don't end up blacklisted. Is that correct?
Yeah, they're putting them on the white list.
All right.
Black and white.
Whatever that
Yeah.
means.
Yeah, well, it's black and white paper. Anyway.
So was this the purchase of software, or was it,
Yeah.
okay.
Okay.
I'm just curious, how many people are working from home for the town?
So that's basically what's happening with that. And
Okay,
however all that takes place. The computers need to be revised to add them as users and take away the old users and,
yeah.
yeah.
Now, Sandy, one kind of quick question for you. Mike Jerome just asked if, about how many people do you know are working from home, roughly?
Permanently working from home.
Well, no,
And
I don't
do the
barely
pandemic,
there is
yeah.
meetings that are attended from home,
Mhm.
Zoom meetings and stuff like that. And there's probably 7, 8
Okay.
who attend meetings from home, especially if they're in the evening. There's
That's a-
probably one doing it pretty permanently,
Okay.
subject to change. So, but we purchased 6 laptops. Yeah, I think, yeah, 6 laptops for that purpose. And we purchased that with, CARES Act money. And some of the, what do you call it? The maintenance goes against the CARES Act as well, but we're trying really hard not to do that right now, and it's become part of the normal duties. Just because the very long hours 2 of us are spending on reimbursement and reimbursement requests, and as easy as you may think it is to have a grant that reimburses you, in this particular case, it's not worth it, all the effort.
Mhm.
And the changing of the rules. I don't know if you've heard any of that, Bill, but it's
Yeah.
absolutely true.
The rules are kind of, the rules when it comes to all the reimbursements are kind of a moving target. They're changing them constantly. So,
Where did-
for the county, yes.
They are.
Where did you take the laptops out of?
Karen's question is, where did the money for the laptops come from? And she had mentioned the CARES Act. We had received, I believe it was a grant or some money from the CARES Act.
It's through the state.
Mhm.
It's it's Coronavirus CARES Act.
Yeah.
I can't remember the exact names of it.
Yeah.
But FEMA also has one too. FEMA only reimburses 75%, of which CARES Act picks up the 25%. So we were able to purchase with that money, which we've already been reimbursed for, by the way, 6 laptops, 4 printers, maybe 6 printers, and a host of other things, PPEs and, all kinds of stuff that has to do with. So the rules change where we could only be reimbursed by FEMA if it was as a direct result of exposure, okay? Well, we didn't know that in the beginning. We started recording all our stuff to be reimbursed. We were just protecting town employees, building, all kinds of stuff, to protect them and supplying, the masks and all that stuff. And none of that is reimbursed through FEMA. But CARES will pick it up if you have a good argument and a reasonable explanation as to what and why you were doing something.
Okay,
So, yeah.
all right. That seems pretty reasonable to me.
For everyone's information, summary of the reserve fund started the year at $65,000. We had $9,900 went to the Board of Health, $15,000 went to unemployment insurance claim, $9,000 went to police chief search, leaving a balance of $31,100 as of tonight. And then this $5,000 will come off of that. We'll get you down to the $26,100, and then we've got another one in front of us as well. So.
Okay.
Is there a question? Because
All right.
we're not hearing anything. Oh.
Yeah, my microphone, for whatever reason, the microphone's not working.
Can you just tell Sandy that I was
Yeah,
explaining the reserve
yeah,
fund
the
balance?
reserve fund balance was just, Jeff just went down through the reserve fund balance sheet as to how much we have left and what the remainders are gonna be when we get done with this. He just went down through the list. Did you happen to hear what I just said, Sandy?
I did, but I didn't hear.
And what was the last number?
So it was 26-1, no, wait a minute, 31-1 before tonight. 31-1.
It was 31-1 to start tonight, and then we just came down to, with $5,000.
So 25.
Yeah,
Okay,
That's 26-1.
26.
31-1 minus 5 is 26-1. Anyway,
Yeah, so we're down 26-1. I'm just trying, what I'm trying to do is I'm just trying to get the Bluetooth speaker working again. I had it working really well, but now it's not.
anymore.
So are there any other questions? We have another reserve fund transfer from, are there any other questions concerning this?
No.
No? Seeing or hearing no further discussion concerning the reserve fund transfer, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jefferson, aye.
Aye.
Karen's an aye. Karen's an aye.
Aye.
Mike, I'm an aye, and I just heard Susan is an aye as well.
All set?
Yes.
All right. I'll make a motion to transfer money from the reserve fund account number 132 to the assessor's account number 141 in the amount of $10,000.
Second.
Motion's been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, to transfer from the reserve account 132 to account 141 assessors in the amount of $10,000. Is there,
And this is all for hiring and assessing services.
this is for that consulting firm, correct, Sandy?
yes.
Okay. That we,
Regional Resource Group.
okay.
So are there questions, or are you gonna read through
How long is
it?
their contract for?
How long is their contract, Sandy? You know?
This contract is for $14,000, and it's from March of 2021 through June 30th, 2021.
Says right here.
What they're doing is a host of backlogged permitting, going into the homes or, talking with the residents and finding out what the values of their permitting will be added to their real estate assessment. Actually, they're doing a whole bunch of stuff that hasn't been done since August when our principal assessor left. Who we have manning the department right now is a 10-hour, very experienced assessor, 40 years experience, and a 20-hour assessor clerk who are trying to maintain the principal assessor, mind you, had 36 hours a week. So those were shoes to fill when they weren't there, 36 hours. So some of the hours that those two persons are working right now are along with when the principal assessor was there. So, yeah, there's some backlog things that need to be taken care of. We did try to hire principal assessors. If you read further, you'll see that, we sent out 2 rounds of advertisements for the job.
Mm-hmm.
We have had the job opened on the website since August, and no one is biting the bullet, and I believe that has to do with just the way all other towns are having the same issue when they need to find an assessor, as well as other kind of employees of towns, municipalities. It's a dying breed, I believe. And maybe I don't know how to fix that, but I would hope that the schools would probably promote the fact that working for a town is pretty good money and benefits. So, and until that happens, we have to go with these assessing services that are out there. We're lucky to find our RG. We got 3 quotes, not only for just this part of the year, but also for the next whole year. And in both instances, they were the lowest bidder, but they also were the ones that do more work than what was going to be available from the other 2 that we looked at. So that's a good thing. And I've attached some information regarding this company to the back of your reserve fund transfer. And on the very back pages of that is a scope of service that they gave us as part of the contract.
I have it in here, but I didn't see any other
And
copies.
some of the things in this particular scope of service will not be done in the March to June timeframe, because, for instance, the tax rate was already set. The real estate and property tax bills are already out. So that reduced the cost. So the annual cost is going to be around $38,000. But for us, that's simply, when this new budget season comes up, we'll simply move what was the principal assessor's salary into the expenditure piece. So it won't be as much as hiring a principal assessor, which is a good thing. Plus, there's no benefits associated with it, too. So actually, the assessor's budget, I believe, for FY22 will be lower.
You're lower hiring a company to do that kind of work. Okay,
Yes.
all right.
So is the original appropriation was $23,000, that must have been expenses?
Because I think my family's getting loud.
No, we can hear you just fine, Sandy.
But I can hear them.
Oh, okay.
Tell her it's a party.
It's a party, are we invited?
It's just a family, you know? So it's my grandson's 15-year-old birthday.
Ah,
Wow, that's great.
So, The
So
2021,
I don't know if anybody has any more questions regarding that.
the 2021 budget for assessors had $95,000 in salary and $20,000 in expenses. So this is just on the expense side, is my guess. The 10,000 is almost half of what the 23 is, so.
yeah, that's gonna just be on the expense side, correct, Sandy?
Yes.
Okay.
So it'll be, so are you talking about the one from March to June, right?
Yeah.
Right,
It's gonna go right into the expense.
So the salary should be available to offset this then.
Yeah, that's what she was saying.
were you able to hear that? The salaries, okay, the salaries will be able to offset that I think we're looking at the future, it'll be able to offset the amount that was in the salaries will offset that amount for
Yes.
next fiscal year?
Yeah, in FY22, what's in the salaries for the principal assessor will be removed completely. And then in the expenditure section, you'll see something around $38,000 for consulting work.
Okay,
But one other thing that I didn't point out is we already have a couple consultants that have come in to do certain things, like the business appraisals and a couple other things, like some property tax stuff. So we already, I think it's like $10,000 in there already. Actually, if I go get my piece of paper, I'll be able to. So did you get a copy of the expenditure report with that assessor?
No.
no, we
That's the
don't.
reserve fund transfer.
No, you didn't, okay.
That's
Well,
okay.
anyway, there's gonna be a portion of consulting services in the expenses already, has been budgeted for years. So that will also offset the amount of the annual contract with our RG. So we're
Oh,
looking at a pretty significant reduction in the assessor budget.
okay, that sounds good, sounds real good, actually,
Right.
so. All right. Are there any other questions concerning the reserve fund transfer? Seeing or hearing any further discussion on the reserve fund transfer motion, all those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff Noble is aye.
Aye.
Karen Schmidt is aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye.
Aye.
Is an aye. Bill's an aye. And Susan has kind of gone off the line here. She has been having a little trouble with her internet connection. So she let me know that earlier on. We do still have a quorum with 5 people in the room here at this time. So, all right.
You have the original, to be able to give original signature?
Yes, I have them right here.
You have to sign those.
I have that, and I have strict orders to make sure I sign these and get them to Sandy tomorrow. Strict orders. I'll probably have them to you in the morning, Sandy.
That's fine.
Okay?
Yeah.
All right, and if you'd like to go off to your party, you can. We are going to go on to our budgets that we received this evening, or unless you want to stick around for that, but I don't. What's your
I
feeling?
think I'll stick around a little bit because there's not that many and they're pretty simple,
Yeah.
so.
Okay.
Is
They're
there
That's
pretty-
what we would do.
Is there
Well,
any,
it's fine. It's perfectly fine with me.
is there anyone in particular
I'm
that
gonna
we
go
should
get my
know,
folder.
thank,
Okay, thanks.
in case she has to go?
No, they were, like she said, they're all pretty straightforward, so we should be able to take care of it. She's just gonna go grab her folder. I don't think she was planning on being with us this evening on it, so. They are indeed pretty, I'm surprised Dan didn't raise his traffic commission budget.
I'm glad. I think that to slash it.
Oh, I think she's cutting it out. Because it's Dan.
Just because.
Yeah, we can, right? All right.
You wait for Sandy to come back.
Okay. All right, Sandy. Yeah, I think I know what's wrong with that needs piece of software. All right, Sandy,
Yeah.
you're up.
I'll make a motion to approve.
No, hang on, we're gonna start with, budget 122.
Okay.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department number
Yep.
122.
Carol just emailed and she said, "Hi everyone, my internet stopped working at approximately 6:30. If you do not have a quorum at the meeting, let me know and I'll come to the senior center."
Well, we do indeed have a quorum. If you wanna send that back, I'd appreciate it, Brittany.
Will do.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
All right.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for department
We don't
122.
have a quorum now?
We do. We have 5 people here.
Oh, okay.
That's all set.
Consisting of salaries in the amount of $20,617, expenses
So
$3,905.
can I just continue with the select board budget?
That's what we're doing right now. 122, select board. I apologize, Sandy, my speaker, turns out my speaker needed, in reading the book on it, it didn't need software. Well, it turns out it does need software after all, so and it won't load it under a measured service like I'm on here. So I apologize for that. I'll make sure the software's there later. So at any rate, a
For a total
motion.
budget of $24,522, an increase of 2.74% over last year.
Second,
Okay, a motion has been made and seconded for the select board budget, Department 122, in the amount of $20,617 in salaries and $3,905 in expenses, for an increase of $653, a 2.74% increase.
So this looks like it's totally attributable to the salaries.
2% increases for the salaries and
Yeah,
dues and memberships were increased,
It's just like a
just a little bit, it looks like on those.
couple $100 there.
yeah. $248.
$48.
Yeah, it's all seems pretty straightforward. Right. Does anyone have any questions?
I'm guessing this budget ends up pretty accurate. year after year.
Yeah, right on.
Right.
Yeah, right on the budget, so, yeah.
Pretty well-known expenses.
Yeah.
Costs,
Doesn't change a lot,
right.
I think, so. All right. Are there any questions? Any other questions? All right. Seeing or hearing no further discussion, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff Noble,
Aye.
Karen Schmidt,
Aye.
an aye. Kara is an aye.
Aye.
Mike is an aye, and Bill is an aye. Thank you very much. The next budget will be 195.
Make a motion to approve the budget for town report department number 195, consisting of $6,650 in expenses only, a level fund from last year.
Second.
A motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt, for the town report budget, Department 195, in the amount of $6,650, comprised totally of expenses. Sandy, in this, we usually use the Boy Scouts to deliver this. I don't happen to see that listed in this budget. Is it included? That's all I know.
It had been included, but they absolutely refused to take our gift or donation because the Boy Scouts are earning badges while they're doing this service for us. So, it's been taken out because they refused to take it. So.
Okay, well, I'd like to thank the Boy Scouts for all their hard work delivering our town reports to each and every doorstep in this beloved town.
Right.
Yeah, it's a very, very important service for the town, and it's much appreciated.
It's an important service for the children too. I mean,
Yeah.
it's a learning service for them.
Yeah,
So that's a good
it is.
Win-win.
Yeah, I think we all win at that one. All right. Are there any other questions? Maybe. Seeing or hearing no further discussion, all those in favor signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff Noble's an aye.
Aye.
Karen is an aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye.
Aye.
Mike is an aye. And Bill is an aye. Thank you very much.
I'll make a motion to approve the budget for unemployment insurance, department number 913, consisting of $7,500 in expenses only, which is a 50% increase over last year.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded for for unemployment insurance, department 913, in the amount of $7,500, comprised totally of expenses, as a 50% increase in this budget.
Why?
Okay,
Yeah.
do you want to take this one, Sandy, or shall I?
So if you want to address it, go ahead if you want. I mean,
Well,
any questions or-
considering under unemployment insurance from last year, we had some increases due to COVID, I believe, that caused some increases. And we also had, we have to pay more for the unemployment system, I believe. Is that correct, Sandy? At least that's
So
how.
we had to pay more?
Yeah, we had an increase in the amount because we did earlier on this year, we did a reserve fund transfer for this. And I believe that's what this is kind of thinking of that in the future. It had to do with something changed in the law and we needed to pay more into the unemployment insurance.
So we are self-insured for unemployment.
Mhm.
We don't pay unemployment insurance.
Okay.
What happened with that, the reason to get additional funds is that we are being billed for those state of Massachusetts, regardless if they still receive their part-time pay from the town of Dalton, the town of Dalton is still required to pay a portion of the unemployment that these people collect. That has been a long-standing rule. We don't understand why that occurs, but it does. And the amount of those persons who part-time work for the town of Dalton, even though they still got paid, had unemployment claims against another one of their employers, and town has to kick in.
Yeah.
Not to mention,
Excellent.
some of our employees in the town of Dalton were fraudulently, someone fraudulently filed for unemployment with their information. And this is happening everywhere. It's not just the town of Dalton.
Oh, yeah,
And
that's
those
it.
bills, even though we did everything we could to say they were fraud, we got, reports back that we claimed it as fraud, we went to the credit agencies and claimed them as fraud.
Yeah,
They, in unemployment, and the state of the unemployment is not responsive enough, quick enough to prevent a bill from coming to the town to pay. And there's a due date on the bill. And you have to pay by the due date. If you don't, you get charged a surcharge. So,
so they didn't,
although they changed the due dates to now, like the bills that were sent for December are not due till June, and we're holding off paying them, and we got billed for 2 fraudulent people on unemployment.
so they haven't caught up yet.
Go figure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, well, I had the same thing occur. I do instruction for Massasoit College, and we had the same thing happen down there. So I'm pretty familiar with it. But when it comes to the unemployment issue, coming from a job that you're laid off at, and then now you're working at another job, that's actually, I believe, a law in Massachusetts that the employer that picks up is responsible for whatever other portion of their unemployment needs to be paid. That's a requirement. We've dealt with that on the private side. We've dealt with that over the years. I've done it, and I believe there's a couple other people that have dealt with that as well. It's part of the unemployment laws in Massachusetts, is what it boils down to. So that's probably, I think Dawn's probably anticipating a little more of that this year, throughout the year. That's why she's increased that budget. Okay.
That's exactly right. And not to mention that, when we do have a claim that's justified, 5,000 doesn't really cut it if they hold on to that unemployment for 6 months. So, so that's also another reason to increase it. We have years when there's nothing, but we have years like this year that we had to get a reserve fund transfer. So
Are they following up?
that's why she's increased it. It's protection. If in a few years it's never used, she'll probably lower it again, but we'll see, right?
Right.
Okay, so
As
Dawn,
well as we have, knock on wood, hopefully we don't have another surge.
Yeah.
And all those people who are going back to work may end up not going back to work again. So
Right.
that would be unfortunate. But
Yeah. Karen has a question.
so Dawn's keeping up on top of it, so when the unemployment insurance bills due, prior to maybe a month before paying it, she's following up to see if there has been any follow-up on those 2 fraudulent charges, to be able to push that back some
Yes.
more?
Yes, the question, Sandy, is, or the comment, I suppose, is that Dawn is keeping up with Dawn is keeping up with it so that we know, say for instance, a month in advance, a little more advanced notice on if we've got fraud coming in and that kind of thing. She's able to keep up with all of that. In other words, it's coming in timely.
she's spending lots of hours doing that, let's put
Right.
it that way.
So pushing the bill
The
back.
unemployment unemployment bills we're getting now
Yeah,
are 5 pages long. And they've got this person, so they're not separated by employee. Any employee that has a fraud claim or has a credit because they were denied something, it's a weekly line item on this unemployment bill, okay? I'll have to show you one. You'll be amazed. So what she has to do is she has to take it and analyze it and put, so she can have a total per person. She does that on an Excel spreadsheet. So there's no total per person. If you have several individuals on that unemployment invoice, you only get a grand total. You don't get a total per individual, and Don likes to keep track of that, and we like to keep track of that in the accounting system too, so
yeah,
it's unfortunate, but that's how we get our bills.
yeah.
So,
Dumb question, what would we get?
she, on a daily basis, goes into the unemployment website to find out, is there someone new that came on, is there another fraudulent person coming on, and so forth. So, and there's paperwork that has to be done for all of that. If a fraudulent person comes on, there's lots of paperwork that has to be done. So, it's all consuming in her job right now.
Yeah.
We would want to look into buying commercial unemployment insurance.
Would it be beneficial for us to purchase unemployment insurance versus
Instead of being
self-insured?
I don't think so. I've asked that question, and I don't have any figures for you. But they'll do the uninsurance based on the number of employees we have, and I don't know. No,
I just
can't answer
wondered
that
if it would
question.
save on the labor.
It
all this
invariably has been, I guess you could look back on however many years we didn't use any of that $5,000.
Right. Well,
But
the
right now, because of the pandemic, it's being used. So,
yeah, the question was, Sandy, was if we had that private insurance, would we be saving on the labor relating to that insurance? That was the question that came up. I'm inclined to say no.
I don't understand what you mean by this level of insurance. Would it be $5,000? Is that what you're asking me?
No, I wonder if it would save Don's time chasing all this crap down.
Would it save time if we had private insurance? Would it save us having Dawn chasing all of this down?
I don't know. I think she still would chase. I don't know. I mean, it has to go somehow. It has to be presented to the insurance company. Maybe the insurance company would do that work. We've never had insurance, so I don't know.
Welcome back, Susan.
Thank you. We'll see how long it lasts.
We'll see how long it goes, I guess, apparently.
Yeah.
All right, Susan, we just went over the unemployment insurance, just to kind of let you bring you up to speed a little bit here. It's budget 913, and it's the amount of $7,500. Sandy just explained to us why there's such an increase, and it relates to claims that have been coming in that we may have to, I'm just kind of paraphrasing, but claims that have been coming in that we need to cover with relationship to people that have worked part-time and then have been laid off and now are full-time. So, all right.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Are there any other questions concerning this budget? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff Noble is an aye.
Aye.
Karen is an aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye. Aye. Jeff, Susan's an aye, and myself and Mike are an aye. Thank you very much, everyone. All right, next up is life insurance.
Make a motion to approve the budget for life insurance, department number 915, consisting of $15,811, in expenses only, an increase of 3.52% over last year.
Second,
A motion has been made made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for the life insurance, Department 915, in the amount of $15,811, comprised of expenses. That is a 3.52% increase over last year. Is this the optional life insurance that they use within the town, or is it one that just comes with being employed, Sandy?
So no, it is not optional. The optional is all voluntary and the town does not kick anything in for it.
Oh, okay.
This is just the normal life insurance each employee has in their fringe benefit package. And retirees keep it too. So like health and dental, well, I can't even use that as comparison, but retirees, of course, keep the life insurance as they retire. So whenever new employees come on and replace those that have retired, it's additional members.
Okay.
That's a benefit we should cut off.
Something to talk about. A comment was made about a benefit that should maybe be
Considered
removed
for,
for the future.
Right.
Maybe start to eliminate that, but it's
For $15,800?
yeah.
you know, every dollar helps when you gotta.
Well, you got 42 active and 39 retired, that's essentially 50/50.
So the amount of the insurance is $10,000.
Looks like 15,000.
Then why are we budgeting 15,000?
Each employee, so this is to pay the bill, the invoice.
Okay,
But when someone passes and they're on this, the insurance gives you $10,000, gives the family $10,000, so.
right,
So
okay,
this $14.80 per employee is for a $10,000 insurance policy.
Okay,
okay.
still,
Per month.
my comment stands.
Okay.
Anyway,
So
All right.
that is entirely in your purview if you think this benefit should be taken away.
Oh,
Oh?
really?
Is it not negotiated?
it's not yet.
No, it's just part of the benefit package like health and dental insurance.
Yeah, when a person comes to work for the town, they have a benefits package that's presented, and there are portions that they opt in on and other portions they opt out of, like health insurance is one of them.
And health and dental too.
Yeah,
They don't have to take it.
right.
Right.
But the life insurance, I think they get that regardless. Am I correct?
No, they have to opt in.
Opt in or opt out.
Oh,
I know
really?
there's a couple that don't have it, for sure.
Really? Interesting.
And the,
Yeah.
and the
I
town
think
pays,
it's interesting too.
And the
town pays the full amount, it's not a
Right.
split.
It's not a split, Sandy, it's the full, we pay the full amount?
The employee pays 1%.
Okay,
1%,
1%?
yes.
I'm just saying.
That's pretty low.
It's hard enough to get good workers too, maybe this
Well,
benefit that helps.
that's why I was just kind of thinking that myself. This might be, what happens is if you look at the private sector people, generally they're paid more for their services than they get paid more for their services than public employees in most cases. And in that case, what happens is the public sector, because you're in the private sector, you just go out and you find more work to pay the bills. But in the private sector, well, you have to increase taxation. So if you can provide a benefit that encourages people to come to work for you, that's kind of how you've got to play. It's a bit of a game, of course, but it is something that helps retain employees. Once you get the people, it helps retain the employees if you can at least get them. So there's a certain benefit in that.
Is it a common benefit offered by most towns?
Absolutely.
This-
I had it available to me last time.
Yeah,
So the
Mass
state,
do towns offer it to their municipal employees very commonly?
as far as I know, they do, as far as I know.
Okay.
Yeah, it's very common. Yeah. So, are there any other questions? Is there- no? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor of the life insurance budget, Department 951, signify in the usual manner.
915. Yes.
915.
Aye.
Jeff is an aye. Susan's an aye.
Aye.
Karen is an aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye.
Aye.
Mike is an aye, and I am in favor as well. Thank you.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Medicare town share, Medicare, title of the department, department number 916, consisting of $42,000 in expenses only, an increase of 2.44% over last year.
Second.
Motion has been made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt for Medicare town share, Department 916, in the amount of $42,000, comprised totally of expenses. That is a 2.44% increase over last year. Sandy?
Okay, that's not negotiable.
That's not-
No, that's not.
No, Medicare is not.
No.
That's actually one that's required.
Okay.
There's really no discussion of this. We don't have a choice. The 1.45% is the town share,
Yep,
and that's based on what the projected salaries are for employees
Right.
okay.
and overtime.
Oh, the overtime is included in that. Interesting.
Of course.
Okay, all right.
And the police outside detail too.
That seems rather unfair.
Why?
Jeez.
That's a tax that is paid on gross payroll.
Yeah,
Right.
okay. That's, okay,
If they're related, right?
all right. Is there any other discussion on this budget? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor, please signify. Jeff Noble's an aye.
Aye.
Karen Schmidt is an aye.
Aye.
Kara Schmidt. Susan is an aye. Mike is an aye, and I am in favor as well. Thank you very much.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Traffic Commission, Department number 293, comprised of $1,554 in expenses only, level funded from previous year.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded for the Traffic Commission, Department 293, in the amount of $1,554 comprised of expenses only. Danny is able to keep this thing level funded. He hasn't had to.
Yep. I think it's been level funded forever.
Yeah, I don't ever remember it going up, to be honest with you. I thought he was gonna work on some signs with that. I'm on the traffic commission, just to let you know.
Okay, good.
So
I have no idea.
yeah, I thought he was gonna work some signs into that, but apparently not.
Signs,
Into that. But they,
highway signs, street signs?
yeah, but it was like, I think it was, we had some other signs that he was gonna deal with. But I can't remember what it was. I wanna say it had to do with the Appalachian Trail was one of them. I seem to recall. But that was just one of them that kind of flashed in my mind. We had some other things that were going on as well. But the other thing, Sandy, have you heard anything further about the pedestrian crosswalk near the post office? Have you heard anything further? I have not.
So that project went out to bid. I can't remember the name of the company that won the bid, but a contract has been, provided to them, and I believe they're waiting to get that all signed. For construction to begin as soon as the snow allows to, melt of the snow. So that's about where it's at right now. I would say they will begin in April, kind of the weather.
All right, thank you. That was kind of a project, a pretty, kind of a big project. The traffic commission was involved with that and the complete streets project. There was kind of a couple of big things that went through the commission during this past year, and actually the year before as well. So it took a little while to get that work done, but it's all moving forward. All right. Are there any other questions concerning this budget? Okay, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff is an aye.
Aye.
Karen is an aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye.
Aye.
Jeff is an aye.
So is mine.
Susan is an aye. Mike
Place.
is. You guys are killing me. Next. It's unanimous. That's great.
Make a motion to approve the budget for Berkshire Regional Planning Committee, Department number 591, consisting of $15,383 in expenses only, a decrease of 0.87%.
Second.
A motion has been made and seconded for Berkshire Regional Planning Commission, Department 591, in the amount of $15,383, comprised solely of expenses, a 0.87% decrease from the previous year.
This is like, it's pretty much just math.
Yeah. It almost looks like rounding.
Probably due to the population going down.
Yeah, that could be it. The mention was made that it might be due to the population in town dropping, like it has been. That might be what the decrease is in this budget.
The assessment.
Yeah, what it does is decreases the assessment.
Of what? The town's what? Dropping?
Yeah, the cost of this thing dropping.
It has to do with the commission's total assessment, yielding so maybe they reduced their cost, and therefore it reduced our costs. But I do know that what was budgeted last year for 21, we ended up paying this exact number. So the budget last year was 5518, and when we got our invoicing this year, it was for 5383. So I don't know, something dropped over at the commission to allow that to continue into this year, I guess. So I don't know. They let us know what the assessment is based on, how many members are in the community and the communities and.
Yeah. They kind of didn't really address the decrease, to be honest with you, in their paperwork. They just kind of tell us how they arrived at the number.
Right.
Huh,
Right.
interesting. All right. Are there any other questions concerning this budget? You, Susan? No? Okay. Seeing or hearing no further discussion on this, all those in favor, please signify in the usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff Noble, an aye.
Aye.
Karen is an aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye.
Aye.
Mike is an aye. Susan? Susan is an aye, and I am in favor as well. All right, that concludes our budget for this evening.
Well, I'm gonna bow out now, guys.
Okay, thank you very much, Sandy.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck with the rest of your meeting.
All right.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thanks, Sandy. Have a nice night. Enjoy your party.
Thanks, bye.
Bye.
I may lose this thing. She's still the administrator, so. Oh, yeah, there we go. Well, anyway.
So,
Okay, Susan, can you still hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, thank you. All right, one last thing before we adjourn. Considering that we've kind of had some issues with getting budgets to us, we are indeed falling a little bit behind.
right.
Actually, a lot behind.
We're 19 budgets right now behind.
Yeah, we're
29 budgets behind.
Yeah, we're roughly 29 budgets behind according to Karen. So what I am going to propose before the committee, and I maybe like to put it in the form of a motion, but I'll do the proposal first, is I'd like to have a meeting next Wednesday, the 10th. But I need to put this before the committee because I laid out schedules to everyone and everyone's making plans in that. And I need to be able to make sure that we have a quorum.
Well, my problem is, because of what's been going on with the town and getting our budgets to us, unless we know from Sandy we can have budgets to approve.
Yeah.
That's the biggest key that we're up against, because not only do we have 29 budgets behind, we've got 16 budgets next week if we stayed on schedule.
Well, we do,
So-
there is an extra day, there is an extra day built into the schedule that we do have. And hopefully we won't need it, but that is the problem. There's no denying that. And Sandy and I talked about it. It seems to me that she'll be able to have some prepared for us. One thing that needs to be kind of made clear in all of this is that it's not a requirement that the select board sign off on these, but it is helpful. Because if indeed, once we arrive at a budget, if the select board gets the budget back, and they see an error, or they see something that they want to change, then we have to go back into our deliberations, find it in the minutes, and revisit that. And we have to call out the day. We've done it before. It's not like it's never been done before. So, but for the sake of expediency, I would like to see us have a meeting next, and what I'll do is I'll pass along to Sandy that we are indeed scheduling a meeting, and we need to kind of.
You have to post that, like.
Yes, I have to, that's why I'm putting it in front of everyone tonight.
Right.
I have to post that meeting today, well, I probably post it tomorrow or Friday, I have to have that posted.
I'm okay with attending a meeting of next week.
Okay, we have,
How many?
would you be able to?
Yep.
Yes,
Yeah, how many meetings after this?
we have, I believe,
How many do we have left?
two, let me pull it up, let me take a look.
Oh, it's right here. Is this scheduled?
That's not there, we're actually kind of way off that schedule. We have definitively two more meetings presently scheduled. We're going to be, we're trying to be complete by the 24th.
Right.
I did put in the schedule the possibility of a meeting on the 25th, but I hope we don't have to do that one. So, and I will know on the 17th if we have to do the 25th.
Have we heard anything about the school district?
The school district, we should have the school district either the 17th or the 24th. We should have the school district budget on the 17th or the 24th, yes.
Now my question is this, if I'm not mistaken, we had 16 budgets last week, is that what I had?
I don't remember how many budgets
I
we
have
did
it on
last.
I have it on there.
And you had 18 scheduled for tonight, we only did 11, so that's 7.
Right, so how much did we have last week?
Next
There's a
week is
discussion,
16.
Susan, about the number of budgets we've
We
done.
had 16 last week, took us probably about, what, 2
Last
hours?
week we did 19.
19, so it took us 2 hours to do that. Are we willing to stay an extra half hour depending if we get a chunk of,
If we get them.
if we get a good chunk of them? I mean, it's,
Yeah.
because it's gonna be, so
Susan.
should we start our meeting
No.
instead of at 6? Should we start it at 5 or,
Well,
I'm just asking that question.
do we want to do, well,
I
I
mean,
guess
it's up
the
to
first
everyone.
question is, are we willing to go to a 2.5 hour meeting to complete this? We should be able to get it done, and just put the half hour either at the end, going to 8:30, or at the beginning, starting at 5:30. What would be preferred amongst the committee? I'm not.
I could either way with that, I'd rather not do 5.
No, I would not do 5. 5 is out of the
5:30
question.
would be the earliest I'd want, if you, but it
Absolutely.
doesn't matter to me, I go to 8:30 also without any
Yeah,
problem.
the same.
Shorter
Yeah.
times.
Okay,
What was that?
I think shorter durations.
Shorter durations for the meetings, Brittany?
Yeah.
Well, we can't do them shorter.
Well, we can do them shorter because we won't be able to get our work done.
Okay.
she may have a schedule, she might be, anything might do.
Yes, Susan, yes.
Were you considering the 10th? Was that?
Yes, that's what we're considering right now is the 10th.
So,
I was asking the committee if they would, if we would want to make a motion to have a meeting, but I wanted to have a time within that motion for the start of the meeting.
Do you want to go 6 to 8:30? Does that say, keep the same time?
Can Brittany accommodate 6 to 8:30 or?
Brittany, can you accommodate a 6:30 meeting? A 6 to 8:30 meeting?
Can I attend an 8:30 meeting?
Well, a 6 to 8:30, 6 o'clock to 8:30 meeting
Oh, okay, what date? On the 10th?
on the 10th.
Sure.
You would be able to do that?
Yeah.
Okay. What we're gonna attempt to do is, if we can get enough budgets in front of us, we're gonna try to extend the meetings by a half hour. So what we're trying to do is avoid a meeting on the 25th, Thursday, the 25th of March. That's what we're trying to avoid here. So if we can do that, that would be great.
Right.
Okay. But if we can get a motion for that time frame, that'll help us out.
To have next week's meeting?
Yeah, to have next week's meeting.
All right, I'll make a motion to have a meeting of the Finance Committee on next Wednesday, the 10th of March, at 6 o'clock in the evening until 8:30.
Second?
A motion has been made and seconded to have a Finance Committee meeting next Wednesday, March 10th, beginning at 6 PM and ending at 8:30 PM, providing we have enough budgets to complete the work. Is there any further discussion about the meeting?
No.
Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor, please signify in your usual manner.
Aye.
Jeff? Aye. Karen is an aye.
Aye.
Kara is an aye. Mike is an aye. Susan?
Aye.
Susan is an aye. And I am also in favor. That means we will have a quorum for that meeting, so the meeting will definitely, I'll set the meeting up and we'll be able to do it.
So you'll post it.
Yep, it'll be posted on the internet for all the townspeople.
Will we have
Thank you.
minutes to approve as well?
Well, yes, we're gonna work to get the minutes for the previous meetings. We're gonna work to get those in so we can get them done right early at the beginning of the next meeting.
Okay,
All right?
sounds good.
All right. We have a motion for
Make a
adjourn.
motion to adjourn.
Second?
We have a motion to adjourn made by Jeff Noble, seconded by Karen Schmidt. Is there any discussion? Seeing or hearing none, all those in favor?
Aye.
Jeff Noble, Karen Schmidt, Karen,
Aye.
Mike, and Bill. We are all in favor, and Susan. All right, thank you very much, everyone.